I am Captain Spawn, and this is day 322 of Spawn Year. The macabre wackiness continues in Spawn 181, as Spawn tries to explain why he must now kill the woman he restored the whole world for, and I try to figure out who exactly is calling the shots in his brain. It certainly reads like mind control. I think the idea is that the costume wants Wanda dead and Al is resisting it, and that's why after he takes Wanda to a twisted recreation of the totally cliche boat on the lake where he proposed to her, he yanks his wedding ring out from inside the costume somewhere, and somehow that separates him from his suit. You know, I really didn't need any payoff for that whole bizarre Spawn's humanity resides in the wedding ring thing. It is way too late for the sappy love conquers all motif. The stuff this book throws away versus the stuff it hangs on to. So, the rule of thumb in Spawn these days is if anything happens, it's because Maman wanted it to. So I've got to assume the vampire bite and the hallucination were all about tricking the costume into acting on its hatred for Spawn because of his pouting and refusal to do anything cool. I sympathize, costume, I really do. And get it to go kill Wanda. As usual, I don't see how Maman could be sure any of that would happen, given how vague a suggestion it seems to be. Oh, except Maman might still be controlling the suit directly, right? Alright then, why does Spawn have his own reasoning for murdering Wanda? He says he has to kill her because it's the only way he can move on, to prove he was never human in the first place. He brings up the miscarriage he caused and asks her to forgive him for it, which she can't do. And that's when instead of killing her, he separates himself from his costume, because naturally he'd know that's what would happen if he took that ring out. Okay, so now Hine and McFarlane remember how the miscarriage thing happened, despite their momentary lapse last issue when the costume tries to convince Al to kill Wanda because she didn't have their child on purpose. What? I have no idea who is in control of Al's body, or who wants what, or who is manipulating whom, or anything. It all reads like a sloppily contrived mess designed to cleverly look like it's tying up loose ends. But, and this has happened before, a lot, we got Spawn away from Wanda. We had every opportunity to move on and take him in interesting places. Spawn realized he had made her life hell and that she represented the monster he'd always been. But I should have seen this coming because we've never gotten away from origin. Ever since the apocalypse, all Hine has done is further complicate the mythology and history Armageddon was designed to reboot. Why can't Al ever be allowed to definitively make up his own mind? I can never be sure if anything he does is because of mind control or evil villain manipulation or the costume's influence. Maybe the point is supposed to be that he's always been a puppet and never really had a choice, but that only works if I'm looking at a tragic character who keeps trying and fails. Not to mention that Haberlin in the letters pages a while back said that people are responsible for their own choices. Most of the time, Spawn just sulks or freaks out or involuntarily unleashes whatever deus ex machina the story needs to cheat its way past whatever he's up against, which is precisely what this ring thing is. Spawn deciding of his own accord to kill Wanda to prove he's never been human, if there was some natural build-up to it, could have been really dramatic and unnerving, and the sort of plot point I wouldn't have expected, but would make a certain kind of sense after everything Al has realized about himself. But when it comes from unexplained, mythical mumbo-jumbo, just a leap to the next status quo, it means nothing, and I don't care. In dramatic narrative, it's not enough to explain why stuff is happening, I need to understand the stuff in the first place. Signed, Captain Spawn.